Okay, if you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, thank you everyone for attending the August 19th Pelican Marsh Board Meeting. Paul, if you want to take roll, certification of quorum and proof of notice.
Sure. So we've got Joel Mulcahy, Keith Congleton, Brian McAdon, Denise Cluthy, Frank Canistra, Uwe Roper, and George Custis on Zoom. So we have a full quorum, and notice was posted in accordance with Florida statute.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Did everybody get a chance to review wasn't last month, I guess it was the month before's board meeting notes? Any questions, changes? Okay, can I get some motion to approve?
I motion to
All in
approve.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks. Took care of that procedural stuff. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Since we didn't hold a board meeting in July, I'd like to take a few minutes to update everyone on several projects and initiatives that we've continued to move forward over the summer. With respect to the community center expansion, we continue to make progress on the planned community center expansion. Our architects, engineers, designers, management team, and board have been working through the details necessary to move the project toward construction. As everyone knows, this is an important project for Pelican Marsh that will provide an expanded fitness center, dedicated spin area, and additional multi-purpose space for our residents. There are still several design, permitting, and site-related matters that need to be finalized before construction can begin. Our goal continues to be to move the project forward responsibly, with construction anticipated in 2027. Keith will provide more details later in today's meeting regarding the current status of the project, some of the challenges we're working through, and our next steps. With respect to Courtside Restaurant, last week, the executive team, Brian McAdon, Keith Congleton, and myself, along with Paul Madry, met with Courtside restaurateurs Brad and Susan to discuss a proposed 5-year extension of our agreement for them to continue operating at Courtside. I want to specifically recognize Brian, who took the lead in suggesting, developing, communicating the proposed agreement. If approved by the board today, I believe we have developed an arrangement that will be agreeable to Brad and Susan and very beneficial to Pelican Marsh community. As part of the proposed agreement, we discussed several investments and enhancements to the restaurant, including climate control shades and awnings, as well as the addition of a walk-in freezer. These improvements should enhance the dining experience for our residents while supporting the long-term operation and success of Courtside. In exchange for these investments and a longer-term commitment, we've also communicated our financial objective of progressively reducing, ultimately eliminating, the annual subsidy the foundation has historically provided to support the restaurant. Accordingly, under new business on today's agenda, the board will discuss and vote on the proposed restaurant enhancements and the proposed 5-year extension of the Courtside operating agreement. I also shared during our meeting that the feedback we've received from the residents who regularly frequent Courtside has been very positive, particularly regarding the changes, additions, and upgrades Brad and Susan have made to the menu over the summer. We want to continue hearing from residents. If you have suggestions or feedback regarding Courtside, please don't hesitate to contact me, Brian, Keith, or any of the other board members, or Paul. Brad and Susan appreciate the feedback as well. Our collective goal is to make Courtside an exceptional experience every time a resident dines at the restaurant. One example of that responsiveness came out of our meeting last week. I mentioned that happy hours at many restaurants around Naples extend beyond 5, often until 6, even 6:30. I asked Susan if we should consider doing what we did last year by extending Courtside happy hour to 6 p.m., as well as considering maybe some complimentary snacks such as pretzels during happy hour. The idea is The idea is simple: encourage residents to stay a little longer, enjoy another drink, and hopefully stay for dinner. Susan responded immediately, and residents have already received her communication announcing that happy hour has been extended until 6 p.m. We appreciate Brad and Susan's responsiveness to our input and their continued willingness to work with us to make Courtside an even better experience for Pelican Marsh community. Landscape and community improvements. Residents should continue to see improvements throughout the property. Our landscaping enhancements have included work around Courtside, the front entrance, the fire pit, the bocce areas, along with continued improvements to other highly visible areas throughout the community. These landscaping enhancements are part of the 2-year plan we laid out for the community and are part of our ongoing efforts to maintain and enhance the appearance of Pelican Marsh and protect the investment all of us have in our community. Court sports. We continue to make significant investments in our court sports facilities and programs, with several projects scheduled to be completed before our busy season. On the north side of the pickleball courts, work has started on new paved patio and sitting area, which will also include a shade canopy and water fountain. We are currently awaiting permits to move further along toward completion. This will provide a much more comfortable and enjoyable gathering area for residents before and after play. We're also moving forward with several improvements to the tennis courts. Over the coming weeks, we anticipate completing the new tennis court fencing, along with grading, laser grading of the courts, the addition of hard true surface material, relining the courts, and new windscreens along the tennis fencing. In addition, the new tennis court lighting, previously approved by the board, is expected to be completed over the next month or so. In addition to the physical improvements, we've strengthened our court sports program with the addition of 2 new professionals over the summer: Ransom Bratton in tennis and Ruben Baserto in pickleball. Both individuals are already bringing new energy and excitement to our programs. We're seeing residents signing up for lessons. Teams are taking advantage of the opportunity to work with the pros to improve their games and prepare for team competition. The combination of these new professionals and the investments we're making in the facility should further enhance what is already a very active and successful court sports program at Pelican Marsh. We're excited about the direction of the program and looking forward to an even greater participation as our seasoned residents begin returning this fall. Looking ahead, even though the summer months are traditionally a little quieter in Pelican Marsh, a significant amount of work continues behind the scenes. The board, our committees, and management continue to focus on completing current projects while planning responsibly for the future. We remain committed to making these improvements that enhance our amenities, maintain the quality of our community, and do so in a fiscally responsible manner. I want to thank my fellow board members, our committee members, Paul and his management team, and all of our employees for their continued work throughout the summer. There's a lot happening at Pelican Marsh, and I'm very excited about the progress that we continue to make. That's it for my presence report. Paul, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you for Foundation Manager's report.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So we're definitely in summer mode now, with most days consisting of hot and humid weather, followed by afternoon rains. The summer weather brings and creates dirt and mildew on and around the homes. So please make sure everyone is keeping up with their homes' required cleaning and maintenance so we can keep Pelican Marsh looking its best year round. Summertime also is when the activity really drops across our amenities. I've got some reports from the past couple months of the use reports. Let's share that with you. To kind of show you how things have really slowed down. Starting with pickleball, you can see starting in June and definitely in July, we're thinking numbers have really almost been cut in half as far as the number of unique players playing and also the number of times playing on the courts. Same thing's happening in tennis. As the gym actually picked up a little bit in July, but
It's probably because I went there once.
yeah, I've seen you there a couple of times. Plus, it's air conditioning. I guess it's a little more attractive to work. And group fitness, obviously, with a lot of people gone up north for the summer, that activity has dropped a little bit too. Spa as well, same thing's happening. And activities, obviously, in summertime is when we had the least number of activities at Lynn's schedule, so that's the activity drops in activities. And then bocce as well. Even though we did see a small spike in July, we had a couple of groups come in and place one night and brought a lot of people into play, so that number spiked a little bit for July. For those couple nights they came in. But these are, these are typical numbers we always see every summer when things drop, and they'll continue this way until starting around October, November, things start ticking up again as people come back for the season. And obviously, before you know it, we'll be super busy again. Okay. The slow period during the summer is also when we get our needed maintenance and other projects done around the community center. As Joe highlighted in his report, we've been busy around the campus doing landscape enhancements and improving and making upgrades around the pickleball courts and tennis courts. Our goal is to have all these improvements completed and ready for the upcoming season. The best way for you to keep informed about and update what's happening around Pelican Marsh is to make sure you're registered on the Pelican Marsh website and that you've opted in to receive the email updates we send out. If you do not receive these emails, please contact the admin office so they can show you how to check your profile and your email status to make sure you are receiving the emails. Additionally, it's important that you also register with the CDD to receive their emails because they send out notices such as when they apply fertilizer along the roads, and also they are sending updates now on the 41 gate construction. Periodically, they have to close the 41 gate temporarily for construction, so the outgoing lane that residents can use will be closed temporarily. So watch out for those emails. So I sent an email out last week showing you how to contact the CDD and add your email to their list so you'll get those updates. I also sent out an email last week reminding everyone of the community center rules and regulations. We recently noticed some residents that have been smoking on the campus grounds. Please remember that we are a non-smoking campus where cigarettes, cigars, pipes, or any electronic vaping devices are not permitted. So to ensure everyone's safety and enjoyment of the amenities, please make sure you read through the rules and regulations and make sure they're being followed. Lastly, we hope everyone's having a great summer, and please remember that the office staff is here. Have any questions, or if we can help with anything, please let us know. And as always, we thank everyone for their support.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Appreciate the update. Brian, moving on, treasurer's report.
Sure. While Paul brings that up, I'll just remind everyone, we mentioned the last time we were together that the Finance Committee under the leadership of Brent Smith was working towards simplifying our financial package. So what you'll see today is the results of that work. We've eliminated about 8 pages of redundant information from the financial package, hopefully making it a lot crisper and easier for community to follow. So just looking at the financial highlights, operating income year to date, 73,000, pretty much right on budget. Revenues, 106,000 over budget, really driven by increased levels of fitness and social activities. Especially in fitness, they were offset by increase in expenses, increase in personal training, spa contract labor, 46,000 over budget. And then you see reference that our maintenance was over budget by 34,000, mostly related to repairs we had to do to the parking lot, as well as the decision we made to go to an outsourced janitorial model. Food and beverage through July, 810,000, tracking 13% better than last year. And we think they'll finish up with a very strong year, right around $1.2 million in revenues. Resale fees, once again, very strong this year, coming in year-to-date July, 84 net homes sold, exceeds the year-to-date July budget by 35 homes. You know,
as we move forward into our budget season next year, we are going to ramp up the number of homes that we budget and foresee being sold for the next couple of years from a planning standpoint. But you know, very, very strong, very helpful in terms of our financial strength.
Dino said there's like 11 pending, so that number's probably going to be over 100 by the end of the year.
Yeah, it's quite amazing, you know, the strength of the home market. So I'm not going to go through these slides in great detail. As you recall, I usually just hit the highlights, but I just want to share with you that now we have a flow through of this financial package. We start with a cash flow statement by each of the types of funds that we have: an operational fund for day-to-day activities, our replacement reserve fund, and our capital fund. So as you go through this, you can see how much is coming in and how much is going out and what our cash balances are. This is just a summary, as we were talking about the contributions of our resale activity into each of the replacement fund and capital fund. And then moving into slides 4 through 6, this is just now a view of our balance sheet. So we have 3 pages of a balance sheet, cash and equivalents on page 1, other assets on page 2, and then page 3 are liabilities and equity. Following that up, we have now a line item P&L, obviously very small from purpose of presenting here, but if anyone has any questions of understanding our financial position, we feel as if this better portrays, you know, it shows how to measure how we're performing. So first we have all revenues laid out, followed by all expenses, a traditional line item P&L that we really didn't have previously shown to the community. And then lastly, on slides 11 and 12, we have details around first the replacement reserve, details of the exact projects that are being worked on, where money has gone, what's projected to be the balance at the end of the year, and then on page 12, the same thing for the capital items. So once again, not to go through in detail here, all these are posted on our website. If anyone has any questions, reach out to myself, Brent, or members of the finance committee with any questions.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Nice report, and thanks, Brent, for the hard work on getting these easier to read. Okay, we'll move on to committee reports, board liaison updates. George, I talked to Dino just briefly. He said there really wasn't much, but did you have anything with respect to bocce?
No, I don't.
Okay. So we'll move on to court sports. Frank, I know we had a meeting yesterday with the court sports committee. You want to give a brief update?
Yes,
Anything
without
significant?
sounding too repetitive or redundant, after Joe's opening remarks and Paul's report, we are really beautifying our courts. And I'm telling you, I've talked to people around here. I'm not here full time, but we are really upping the scales with all our great work beautifying this place, with all the tennis work, the new fences, fixing up the courts or the resurfacing of the tennis courts, and everything we're doing around here. And it's positive. We have a group of players that come in on Wednesdays that actually play at night from different communities. And the word is that we are our powerhouse. With all the changes. I mean, we were strong before, and this is just going to be an additive to what we're doing and who we are as a community. So I want to say that. I won't get into all the numbers and details. Like I said, they mentioned it. I want to talk about Ransom and Ruben. Ransom is our tennis / pickleball pro, who's been wonderful. He came last year. Towards the end of the season, or right somewhere in the middle to end, and he's been a tremendous asset. And Ruben, who we just brought on a couple of weeks ago, last month or whatever, officially, is 100% pickleball. And myself and Brian had a chance to play with him this morning, and he's a tremendous teacher. He's young, he's energetic. And like I said, with all the things going on around here,
And yes, he kicked our butts.
yeah, we got a long way to go, don't we? We thought we were okay, but maybe not. But having said that, the courts around here are just on the rise. And more importantly, the relationships that the community is coming together, put all that stuff from years ago behind us. And I'm happy to say that Pelican Marsh is our home. So great. That's
Right.
all.
All right, thanks, Frank.
Yeah.
And then Uwe, with respect to
Fitness. So fitness has been very quiet, but we have two members of the fitness committee that are active with the building subcommittee working on the expansion. Of course, the expansion is really going to affect the fitness a lot. And so we have those two members of the fitness committee that have been very actively participating on the building subcommittee. And there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Otherwise, the gym has been pretty quiet. We haven't had any meetings the last little while. We do still have upcoming in the next couple of months, probably another appointment to the committee to deal with. But I'll present on that maybe next meeting or the meeting after.
okay, thanks, Uwe. And then we'll round off the committee reports. You know, Keith, if you want to give us a update on, I say long-range planning, but really, I guess that delves into the subcommittee and what's going on with the expansion, and also if you could, any updates we have on CDD county projects oversight.
Sure, I'll start with that, actually. All of us see and feel the county road work that's going on around the campus, as well as the gate work that Bob's team is leading out front. Making great progress on the US 41 gate. They are on schedule and on budget, which is nice to hear midway through a project. That's not always the case, right? So team continues to make good progress there, and Bob and the committee are very happy with the contractor, Heatherwood. So continuing to see steady progress with an expectation of having that gate open no later than October 31st. They recently completed the dry end, the framing work, and the rough end for the plumbing and the electrical. So continuing on plan. One other comment on that gate is at some point toward the end of the project, there'll have to be a 2-week outage or thereabouts of the exit. It will be permanently closed, closed for the duration of the project in order to complete the work on the exit side of the security building. So be looking forward to that. It'll be communicated, as well as all the other activities around the gate closures out there that Paul mentioned earlier. But again, we're very optimistic. This one certainly has proceeded a lot better than both Vanderbilt Beach and airport pulling gates did over a year ago. So we're happy with that. Also around campus, of course, the county and the state continue to work on our roads. Vanderbilt Beach Road, the progress you can see out there as you exit the Vanderbilt Beach gate. That project completion date is still July 2027. So we got about another year or so to endure that activity. The left turn lane out of Pelican Marsh will be closed in the next 30 to 60 days, and that'll be permanent. That's a permanent change. It's part of this change or design. And that helps to make, obviously, exiting the area, the Pelican Marsh area, much safer, as traffic isn't waiting to cross and people aren't trying to come in at the same time. If you've been through that at rush hour, you know it can be pretty stressful. So that's ongoing and expected to be completed, as I said, next July. Airport Pulling Road is scheduled to start construction in June of 2027. Contracted is expected to be out for bid in the next 60 days. So I'll be looking for more information regarding that activity in the next couple of months. Goodlet Frank, this is kind of near and dear to some of the folks that live over in Portofino in particular. The first design phase has been submitted to the county. There's a public meeting date for review that will be scheduled. It has not yet been scheduled, but will be scheduled in September. Be looking for that if you're interested. The place, time, and date has not yet been determined, but once it is, we'll be sure to communicate that to folks that are interested in that activity as well. And then lastly, on the roads and gates activity, US 41 is scheduled for resurfacing, and that'll happen in next year, 2027. And we'll continue to communicate that activity. It is a Florida Department of Transportation project, and the expectation is that the paving activity will be completed at night, so it'll be less disruptive to those of us that are living in Pelican Marsh and coming and going. So that's all I have for roads and gates. Bob, Steve, question?
Do you mind?
No, please.
So I'm wondering about you mentioned the closure of the left turn lane onto Vanderbilt Beach Road from Taylor, and I'm wondering about the U-turn that's going to be put in out here at Goodlet, and what the timing is going to be there, because if it's impossible to turn left out of that thing, as it sounds like it will be, then what's the alternative recommended by you guys?
That's a good question, Steve. I don't know the answer to it. I will find out. But you're right. I mean, we ought to have that U-turn in place before we close down the left turn track.
That was the original plan.
Yeah. Perhaps it doesn't look like it, given the activity out there.
It's not gonna happen.
But I will follow up. I'll get back to you directly. Next question. Yeah, good question. Any other questions on roads and gates? Bob, any other comments on it? You guys are doing a great job with that gate. I love what I see out there.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Making great progress. So with respect to the building expansion project, a lot of work underway there as well. Kind of broke it into two phases. We got the parking lot activity. That work is underway, has been for some time now. We submitted the application for the permit that is under review. We expect to get an answer back on that in the next 30 to 45 days. We do have a contractor. It's kind of in the queue. We haven't actually signed them up yet, but we have one that's kind of leading the pack as far as the responses to our request for proposal. And they've been good enough to be patient with us as we work through this permitting process. Our expectation is that that project will begin around a month or so once the permitting is in place, and then will be completed by the end of the year as well. So that parking activity, of course, will be all across the street. Won't have a lot of direct impact on those of us that are using this parking lot, but you will see some activity in regard to that. Then with the building expansion project, again, we're continuing to make good progress there as well. We did find in looking at the property survey that there is a setback issue that we ran into in the design of the building. The commercial building requirement is that you have a 50-foot setback from the property line. In order to expand the building, we're going to encroach on that. And because of that, we do require a variance in order to do that. We don't anticipate that that's going to be a major issue. So we're working through that process as well. And also the permit application is in place for that. And we expect to have that answer probably around January of 2027. Paul, any comments on that activity as well?
That's correct.
All right. So all in all, the committee continues to meet regularly with the engineering, architecture, and interior design folks. As you know, our intention is to renovate most of this building, if not all of it, bringing it all up into current design features and whatnot. And right now the work is on progress and on schedule. So I'm looking forward to getting that going. Plan is to start construction in early Q2 next year.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Any questions? Okay. We'll move on to new business. Brian, why don't I go ahead and turn over, why don't you go ahead and take 10, 1, 2, and 3, and then I'll come back with 10, 4.
Okay. So starting with the lease extension, the current lease with our restaurant providers ends in 2027. We wanted to get ahead of the renewal of the lease, especially in conjunction with any improvements we wanted to make to that lease. The current lease was designed with stability in mind, providing a certain level of revenue certainty to the restaurateurs. I think after 4 years of operation, they have that certainty in terms of knowing approximately what their revenue is going to be and the ability to run a restaurant and plan their expenses around that. With that in mind, one of the objectives we had was to get out of providing a subsidy to the restaurant. So we have proposed to them a model that over 5 years will basically bring our subsidy down to zero. We'll no longer be providing a subsidy to the restaurant. As part of that, we did agree to make certain improvements to increase their revenues. You know, one of the drawbacks of the subsidy was that as we approach certain revenue milestones, they actually had a disincentive for crossing those milestones because it was money out of their pocket. And that's another reason why we want to address this at this time, because we feel this year specifically they're approaching a significant milestone, and we want to provide them all the incentive to be successful and to grow the restaurant for everyone. So having said all that, we are proposing, and we have come to a tentative agreement with Brad and Susan to extend the current lease to 2032. We will provide a subsidy of $50,000 this year and next year, which, by the way, is less than what we provided the last couple of years, or actually ever. And then each year thereafter, we would decrease that subsidy by $10,000 until we approach zero. That subsidy would be paid in 4 equal installments during the summer months. If by any chance Goodliff Frank reduces the revenues, that construction project under $1,050,000, we will kick in a subsidy at that time. And that we realize that as part of this, the nature of the restaurant business, they will continue to increase costs as they see fit due to inflation and labor costs. So additionally, there is a section within the lease agreement that provides for a revenue sharing mechanism. That revenue sharing mechanism at this point is several $100,000 away from currently operate. That language goes away as well. So the upside in terms of revenue growth, it really falls to them to run the restaurant as any restaurateur will run it. So having said that, I would propose that we accept the lease addendum to the existing lease and move forward with this lease renewal.
So I second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks,
So-
Brian.
So moving along with that, two items that they had asked for was number one on 10.2, a walk-in cooler. So we have gotten estimates that walk-in cooler would be approximately $40,000 to $50,000 in term, including any wall costs. For those of you interested, the cooler actually would go behind those curtains. There would be a breakthrough of the wall from their existing prep area into there. And we would continue to have egress out through those doors. So it's basically taking maybe 2/3 of that space. That will allow them to add additional items to the menu. You know, the example that Brad shared with me is that, you know, any given week, they might be able to offer one type of steak. Now they'll be able to offer varieties of different types of steaks. So really it gives them an opportunity to extend their menu. So we have told them that we would like to do that in conjunction with all the other building work we're doing, included in, you know, any RFP package that we go through for the building. But we do want to have it approved now, just in conjunction with the lease approval. So I propose that we set aside up to $50,000 for construction of a walk-in freezer refrigerator in support of the Courtside Restaurant.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay,
Aye.
Okay, lastly, you know, we hear this every January and we hear it every summer in terms of climate control within the restaurant. The restaurant's been tremendously successful in providing an amenity to the community, especially geared towards the peak of the season. But there are many full-time residents, myself included, as well as people coming back and forth during the summer months that would benefit from better climate control without feeling like you're in a cave. So we have found a product that is a roll down panels that can be installed on the existing infrastructure that are totally see-through, that will provide our ability to better control the climate in there. You may see, if you've gone, that we've performed various tests this summer with our own version of that, just, you know, sealing up the inside with clear plastic to make sure that we can achieve, you know, the temperature that we have. And I'll be honest, the times I've gone there have actually been a little chilled and have to remind myself maybe bring a little sweater or something. But that's the thing that we like to do to improve the climate control of Courtside. We have quotes of, I don't think it's quite 100,000, but we're going to ask for 100,000 just to cover any overruns to install those additional roll down panels along the outside of the Courtside Restaurant.
does that estimate you're talking about, does that include the awnings?
It does, Joe, thanks. Yeah, there's also decorative awnings that will provide some shading to the outside tables as well.
We show a picture.
If you have a handy, sure. Sure.
So you want to go over that, Paul?
Yeah, so the plan is, we want to seal up all the entryways into the bar area with a clear plastic shade, a roll down shutter that will hold the air conditioning air that we have inside the bar
Also heating.
And also it works, these are also heat pumps. So in the winter, when we do have still called winter, they will hold the heat in too. So the areas you see here will have the roll down clear panels along with the awnings extending out. And these two back sections just have the roll down clear panels. To give you an idea what it's going to look like. So this is what it would look like with the clear panels down. It's like a giant window. So when you arrive at courtside, you can actually see inside, see people there eating, dining. It gives the impression they're open. And as well as when you're inside the bar, having lunch or dinner, you can see out. So you don't feel like you're in a cave as you do now inside there.
There's kind of a framing around that, isn't there? Around the window, like a foot or something? like
Yeah, so the main area is clear plastic, but there's a 12-inch fabric border that goes around. That's meant so when it rolls up, it doesn't stick. And then these awnings will be over every entry, the main three here, and then on the side entrance here, and on the side entrance here, so a total of 5. They are retractable awnings. They come out 12 feet. They have automatic sensors, so if it gets too windy, they automatically close back up. And underneath the awning, there is built-in lighting, so in the evening, when you're sitting underneath there, it's lit, so you can see.
And they've got, are they gonna bring a bunch of different colors and fabrics and this for us to take a look at? I personally like the blue, it kind of pops. But that's me. I don't know what others think.
Yeah, I have their booklet. It's like I got probably 500 samples of colors we could use. So anyway, but yeah, this was for demonstration purposes. We use blue.
It's been suggested to me, maybe we get their interior designer before we make the decision. The person that's doing the whole community, maybe take a look at that and give us, but I personally like that. Any thoughts from the community?
Looks good.
Dino?
It looks great, but what you want to do is the manufacturer ask the darker color will radiate heat below it during the summer.
Short answer is yes. So the darker the color, the more heat will be radiated down below. So the lighter color, the less heat. So that is a drawback to going with a darker color.
But it looks cooler.
I got the colors for the canopies out on the courts. What color are they?
Right, yeah, between that, the chairs and umbrellas, we just need to coordinate. Yes.
I have a question for Paul. With regards to these new clear plastic roll downs, are they to be used in conjunction with the existing sunshades we have, or do they supersede them, or how are they related?
Well, they're just an added layer. So obviously, the idea is that when the sun is not coming down through the area, it's just to have the clear roll down only. But you can also bring in and roll down the shade panels too, halfway or 3/4 of the way if you have to help keep the sun from coming in inside the bar. But hopefully the awnings extending out 12 feet will resolve that issue too.
So they can coexist with them both being down, both being up. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
We're not replacing anything. This is in addition to what we already have. I'm sorry?
Yes.
The armor shield,
Yes.
Yes.
the armor factor.
We have to do that because that's security at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
So with that, questions, I propose that we set aside $100,000 for the installation of the awnings and the clear plastic shades.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Electrician.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Pass that as well. We already talked about we already talked about the cooler. We already approved that. And next, and then the roll downs. The only thing that we had was, I don't have a copy of it, Paul, was the, So I think everybody saw this was in the packet. We have one design review, and that is 1300 Little Blue Heron Court.
So.
Yep.
Here we have we'll have Denise.
I'm sorry. Do you have a copy?
I do.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we had a request, the
Sorry,
design
Denise.
review committee had a request from 1300 Blue Heron Court to completely redo, refurbish their pool deck and the screens. It's all within the existing footprint and it was a simple approval. So we're asking the board to approve it. And that's it. I
You're motioning that.
motion to.
Okay, I'll
approve.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thanks, Denise. All right, any other board member comments? Any questions, comments from the residents? Yes, Dina.
Comments to the landscape that's going on.
Can't hear you. You want to?
All of the landscaping that's been added, I wanted to thank the board for moving forward that. As you guys know, that I've been always bugging for the last couple of years that we need to really step it up. And I'll be honest with you, I never thought it would be this nice. It is really fantastic. And I think that we were very fortunate that we had that architect that lived in the neighborhood, that was able to do it. But I just want to thank you guys for, and I can't wait to see it completed, especially in the back. I think you guys, thank you. You guys did an amazing, overwhelming job. Thank you.
Thanks, Dina. Do we know when the bocce landscaping is going to be done?
By the end of the month.
All right. Okay, motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Okay.